So we flagged PayPal as one of our next-gen winners for the next decade because even though it is a big company at over 250 billion in market cap today, we still see a sizable opportunity in front of it, and one that is probably not appropriately recognised by the market. And so PayPal sits within our digital payments area of interest. And so what the interesting thing that's happening with digital payments is they are effectively about to go 100% digital. So many people looking at this video probably don't use cash anymore. And over time, other countries in the world will slowly catch up and payments will effectively go 100% digital. And so what that does is it effectively creates a really good opportunity for fintechs. Fintechs previously would just be your e-commerce choice, or they'd be your choice for maybe a small loan of some description. And that was really the area they dominated in. But once cash goes 100% digital, there's all these other areas that fintechs can move into, which is how do you pay in the store, or how do you do your loans, or how do you do your cross-border transfers, et cetera, et cetera. So there's all these other areas of revenue that banks currently make money out of that fintechs can now move into once effectively cash disappears altogether. And inevitably this is going to happen in the next decade. And so when we look at that opportunity today, if we just took, say, for instance, the top 30 fintechs in the world and the top 30 banks in the world, the revenue of the fintechs is tiny. And the revenue of the banks is ginormous. And so this is effectively the large total addressable market that fintechs can move into. PayPal is obviously one of those, but we know lots of others. Afterpay here in Australia does a good job of it, as does Ant Financial in China. And so there are a lot of fintechs around, but they all have the opportunity to win together. The loser here is not fintech versus fintech. The loser here is the banks. And the reason why we like PayPal the most is really because we just see it as the number one fintech in the world. It is the one that's probably going to benefit most from network effects. And so while there are lots of fintechs in the world, PayPal is the one that really has all the bases covered. It's the one that has the largest user base. It has the largest user base for e-commerce payments, but it also does peer-to-peer payments by Venmo. It does e-commerce setup by Braintree. It does coupons via Honey. And obviously it's now been the first mover into cryptocurrencies. And cryptocurrencies inevitably will come more and more into play as digital currencies become bigger. And these are all new growth drivers for PayPal. And so ultimately as their TAM grows, their areas of interest grow. And what we ultimately see PayPal becoming is effectively a super app for finance globally. And so effectively all of these different areas of what you do, whether it's e-commerce, whether it's lending, whether it's coupons, or whether it's crypto, can all effectively come back to your PayPal app. And so PayPal becomes basically the dominant fintech provider globally and effectively the super app. And so even though it's quite big, its runway for growth is still very, very long. And in fact, the most exciting parts of it are now actually ahead of it.